guys, welcome back to my channel. You can probably suss this one out on your own, but not sober. Yay, return of drunk Kara. I know everybody has missed her, myself included. Anyways, today is going to be an anti-haul, and I genuinely at this point don't know how ranty I'm gonna get, but I know one of them is rather triggering for me. We'll get to that. Put a pin in it. Because before we dive into the meat and potatoes of today's video, I want to share some exciting news with you. And that is, I am part of the GC squad. What is that, you may be asking? Gerard Cosmetics. I am an affiliate with them. And I want to thank Jen Gerard for inviting me to play with the other kids. Even though I have a little tiny baby channel. And I love my little channel. I really, truly do. But it is little. And a lot of brands wouldn't give me the time of day. I can guarantee that because they don't. And I think it's so amazing when brand owners will support all levels of creators, and it means so much. It really means an awful lot to me. And what it means for you is that I have a discount code with Gerard Cosmetics. So if you use the code Kara, then you can save 30%. I think it's off anything on the website except things that are already reduced. So there you have it. And then for any purchase that you make using my code, I do earn a commission off of that. So there's that. Make your own informed decision in that regard, but I wanted to share that with you because I think that's just, like, honest to God, the coolest thing. And I love that I get to share savings with you and potentially earn commission. Let's call a spade a spade. Sorry, let's just hashtag keep it real, right? Okay, I cannot believe I just did that. Who am I? Okay, let's dive into the stuff I don't want. And there's a bit. I mean, it's not extensive, but there's a bit. And the stuff that I don't want, like, I truly don't want it. Truly don't want it. Also, there is a bit of rolling with the homies. There is a bit of a pervasive theme, if you will, with a lot of these, which, if I remember, I will bring it to your attention as we go along. Let's start with the low-hanging fruit, shall we? BH Cosmetics. In respect to this whole collection, I think we should just refer to them as BS Cosmetics. So they're still trudging away at this Zodiac thing, and I mean, is the year almost over? Dear God, please make the insanity stop, because these palettes are not getting any goddamn better. So this one is the Libra palette. Full disclosure, I don't know much about much. I don't know much about astrology, so I don't know, like, what the shtick is for Libras. Like, I don't know what their jam is. I don't know what they're doing. Judging by this, I'm guessing they're like Barbie circa 1984. That makes no sense, but in my head it really did. Because for some reason I look at this and I think of, like, remember, like, Ken hit the scene and he had, like, that jaunty little sweater tied around his shoulders? Maybe that was just the Toy Story movie. I don't know. This color story makes me think of that. It makes me think of, frankly, pretentious dicks in Florida who wear, like, chino shorts and, like, a polo t-shirt and those, like, boat shoes with no socks. This is the color of their polo shirts. For that reason, I don't like it. I just spit at myself. But I also just am purely mystified. What is the point of this? What kind of looks can you make with this? Like, they all look Like they would just blend away to nothing. Perhaps I'm wrong, but that's how they look. So, I don't want this. In case you couldn't figure that out. I just don't see any point in this. I don't, like, an elegant spectrum of shades ranging from warm bronzed neutrals and pale sky blue to blushing berry hues. Those are some anemic ass berries. There is just nothing punchy about this at all. I think I've made my point clear. Big ol' nope. All right. I have mentioned this one in a previous new releases video, but I think it bears repeating. The Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette from Too Faced. No. It's a neutral palette with like a pop of teal, basically. So, don't need it. Also, I mean, aside from that, say that's what you're looking for. That's fine. Fairly pretty palette. What gets me, however, is that this is essentially the same palette as it was last year. And I don't really know the difference. I don't really know what's making this extra spicy. Because there's no bright reds. There's like, what I would think of with spicy would be red. I don't know. Anybody else? I just picture more vibrant colors, and this is not, it's not vibrant. So like, I think they're playing super fast and loose with this whole extra spicy thing. Also, who the hell wants spicy gingerbread? That makes zero sense whatsoever. So the concept of this is a little suspect. But they basically took last year's palette and they were like, fuck man, I don't have time to come up with a new palette. Just fucking do something with this one and shove it back out there. That's precisely what they did. And I'm sure people will buy it. But I won't be one of them. You know what else I'm not gonna buy is this like trypophobia thing from Anastasia, ABH. That's why I always refer to them to ABH as AB. Oh my God. Moving right along, this Carly Bible collaboration with ABH. The packaging makes me want to like rip my fingernails off just to have a distraction. I think it's terrible. It is trypophobia, right? That's what it's, yeah, no, don't Google trypophobia. Good fuck. Good God. Images. Ugh, can't get them out of my head. Can't unsee that. Anyways, that is the name of the disorder. Don't Google it. Also, don't Google blue waffle. My husband tricked me into that one. Thanks, Bear. So I hate the packaging. And even if I can get past the fact that it looks like a many-eyed spider or the place where demons are born, I don't know. It then just looks like Miss Bible went to like the dollar store and bought on glue-on pearls or like stick-on pearl stickers. They always have those. I don't know why. I don't know what people use them for. But it looks cheap as fuck. I just don't like it. And then move on down so that we look at the colors. It's not, I mean, it's not terrible. It's not BH Cosmetics. But there's really not a lot of range there. Like there's not, I'd have to see it in person, I guess, to really judge like the red and the deeper brown to see just how deep they are. But it just doesn't look like you can get an awful lot of stuff going on with this palette. I don't know. I am just, I do like the matte to shimmer ratio. I will say that. I'm just not wild on the mattes or the shimmers. So that saves me like 60 bucks. So there's that. Thanks, Carly. Okay. Okay, so this one's been out for a minute now, but the Naked Honey. it's like the Naked Bland. There's nothing particularly golden about it or honey-esque. There's really just nothing, frankly. It does not do anything for me except turn me way the hell off. I feel like all of these shades look the exact same on the eyes. Like they just look so washed out and like terrible. Just terrible. Also, who was asking for another Naked palette? Like how long has the Naked train been running around on the tracks? Like 7 years, 8, 9, 10? I'm not sure. A long ass time. Stop. Just step away. Step away. Come up with something different, for the love of God. I am tired of the Nakeds, and majority of the Nakeds look washed out and dull, and this is no exception. Again, saves me money, so I'm okay with that. Oh yes, so let's talk about dull and washed out. Guerlain, the fuck is this? This is terrible. This is terrible on multiple fronts, my friends. First of all, what is that layout? Second of all, what is that color story? Like, what is that color story? That's like old oatmeal. That could be the name of the palette. Old oatmeal. It's terrible. Need I say more? Like, I truly don't have any other words other than like atrocious. Terrible. Also, slide your eyes to the left of the palette, or the pans, whatever. Foam tip applicator, and potentially the world's cheapest brush. Why? Why are they included? Who is using that brush? Who? I'm not. Are you honestly going to use that brush? I doubt it. Because if you're spending, strap in folks, $106 for this box of nonsense, I'm going to go ahead and guess that you probably have some functional brushes lying around. So this is just mystifying to me. This looks like something that one of those like no-name cosmetic brands that you have zero idea who they are, they just pop up at Shoppers Drug Mart around Christmas time. This is their palette. It just wandered onto the Guerlain section of the Sephora website. Moving right along. Becca, again, the horse is dead. You need to stop hitting it. Champagne Pop, it's long gone. It's like dust on the horizon. Can we please, what are these analogies that I'm coming up with? I hope they translate, because in my head, I see like a car driving off on like the Arizona Skylone, whatever, landscape. There's Skylone, landscape. It's just, it's a car driving off into the like Arizona landscape. See that time it worked. And it's just like little grains of dust, like way off in the horizon. That's what was in my head. Maybe it really translated and I've just over-explained stuff. Anyways, Champagne Pop is dead. Let's just move on. That's all I have to say about that one. That was a really aggressive hit. Also, okay, let's bounce back to ABH. The Norvina Pro pigment palettes, volumes 1, 2, and 3. I don't actually mind them. I don't want them. They're too big for my liking, and when you have like a green up here and a green in the middle and the green down, like my brain doesn't work that way. I like things like sort of grouped. I guess I'm a little OCD in that regard. So these ones, I know that I would not use them nearly enough to justify the $79 a palette price tag, at least here in Canada. But also like ABH, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, friends are concerned. They're pumping out stuff so quickly now. Like, there was the oh my goodness, Jackie Aina, that's what's on my eyes today, that collaboration. And then it was just like There's a little bit of a breathing room, and now it's just like machine gun palettes at us. And I think that these Pro palettes should have all been released at the same time as a vault, but then also available individually. And I think that would have made one hell of a lot more sense. I mean, she's got the palettes. I get that she wants to put them out. Fair enough. You might not want to do it every like 4 months or whatever, so that's spread over a year. I respect the hustle. I've got it. But to drip and drab them out over the course of like 3-4 weeks, it just feels disjointed. It feels like scrambling. Like it just feels like something's off with that. So I think just do them all together. I mean, they were obviously available all at the same time. I highly suspect. Put them in a vault, sell it like that at a slightly discounted price. Sell the individual palettes as individuals. People will choose what they fucking want to choose. But I will not be buying any of them because I just know that they would overwhelm me. So there's no point in that. That brings us to Kat Von D. I did mention this, I think, in the most recent new releases that I did, which, let's be honest, has been a few weeks. This is the Lolita Por Vida eyeshadow palettes. So, if you remember, before we go further, if you remember at the beginning of the video, I said that I would tell you what my thinking of the overarching theme of these releases is. Regurgitated shit. A lot of these brands are taking like pre-existing stuff, doing 1 or 2 half-assed tweaks, and then selling them to us. Please don't buy them. Please do not encourage that kind of shitty behavior. These brands have enough money to put into R&D that they can come up with something new. And it doesn't have to be an eyeshadow palette, it's just that that's all they ever seem to give us. Which is fine, I buy a lot of eyeshadow, but like, if you are truly stuck for an idea for an eyeshadow palette, maybe don't do an eyeshadow palette. I don't know, just saying. Crazy, I know. Try your hand at something different. Come out with a face palette, do a cheek palette. Like, I don't even care what. Just do something different then. Don't sell us what already exists. So back to Miss Von D. Lolita. First of all, questionable. But she really seems to like the Lolita horse. And here it is again. And this palette looks a whole lot like Morphe to me. It hits like, well, I guess there's like 2 notes that it hits in there. There's more like the beigey side and then the more berry side. But it didn't need to be a thing. Not in my opinion. I mean, a part of me likes the colors, but a stronger part of me thinks that this could have just been a 9-pan palette and it would have been fine. It did not need to be this big. There is a lot of overlap in the shades and I don't want to buy it. All right, excuse me. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about the tomfoolery that is Morphe and James Charles. I don't know which one of them I'm more upset by. I think Morphe ultimately has the say on things, so it just kind of supports my overall feeling that Morphe is a bag of dicks. Because I don't think they have any respect for their consumers whatsoever. They are like incredibly money motivated. Like I move that we change their name from Morphe to Ebenezer or Scrooge, but Ebenezer has a certain flair to it. They're forevermore the Ebenezer Company because all they give a shit about is money, and who better to join them in that pursuit than Jimmy Chuck. I watched like as much as I needed to of his video just to see what the fuck this is. Didn't want to put out another palette because he felt that that would be scamming the consumers. I have a very hard time understanding that statement. Because that's what brands do. They put out new palettes. New palettes. They put out new palettes. So, out of an abundance of caution, lest he appear that he is scamming consumers, the brain trust that is Ebenezer Cosmetics comes up with the idea of a mini palette. Just the exact same goddamn thing that came out last year, just smaller and with a mirror. I ask you, what feels more scammy? Being presented with a fresh new palette, or being presented with the same palette that you probably bought last year, just shrunk down and a mirror added? Because if I'm going to answer that question, it's going to be option 2. This is horseshit. This is absolute horseshit. This is disrespectful. It's downright disrespectful. And don't try to tell me that you're doing this as a favor to consumers because they can't afford your other palette. You self-righteous child. No. It's the same goddamn palette. It's the same palette. And if you were truly like budget conscious and that's what your concern really was, you'd probably have a brush set that wasn't $60. I don't know, just a thought. This just screams last minute idea. This screams lack of creativity, lack of integrity. It's such a cop-out. It's such a cop-out. I am just, like, I have very strong secondhand embarrassment because of this palette. It's sort of like audition week on American Idol. That's the feeling in my soul when I look at this palette. Like, it's straight up embarrassing for him. And ultimately that kind of makes me giggle. Because I can be a petty bitch from time to time. Okay. Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, as always. I've got nothing else to add at this point, so thank you for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.